Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and today is November 28th of 2023. And today we're celebrating Tuesday of the 34th week in Ordinary Time. Today's Gospel comes to us from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 21, verses 5 through 11. While some people were speaking about how the temple was adorned with costly stones and votive offerings, Jesus said, "All that you see here, the days will come when there will not be left a stone upon another stone that will not be thrown down." Then they asked him, "Teacher, when will this happen? And what sign will there be when all these things are about to happen?" He answered, "See that you not be deceived. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he,' and 'the time has come.' Do not follow them. When you hear of wars and insurrections, do not be terrified. For such things must happen first, but it will not immediately be the end." Then he said to them, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be powerful earthquakes, famines, and plagues from place to place, and awesome sights and mighty signs will come from the sky." Today's Gospel offers us an opportunity to meditate on how the present form of this world is passing away, as St. Paul writes in the first letter to the Corinthians. Jesus' prophecy concerning the destruction of the temple reminds us that the things of this world, and especially the physical ones, will all pass away. Likewise, Christ's words regarding the escalating tribulations prepare us for the difficulties that are to come. Now in the Gospel, Christ gives us three pieces of advice, or three commands, concerning these end times. He tells his listeners first, see that you not be deceived. Second, do not follow them, meaning the false messiahs. And third, do not be terrified. Regarding the first two, Christ says, see that you not be deceived, and do not follow them, that is, the false messiahs. More literally, for the first he says, take heed, or watch out, lest you be led astray. That word for deceived or astray in Greek planao means to wander or to get off course. In the Bible, it's almost always implies a sinful wandering after false promises and empty goods. The danger then that Christ is speaking about is to seek salvation in someone or something other than the real Jesus Christ. As Peter tells the Sanhedrin, there is no salvation through anyone else, nor is there any other name under heaven given to the human race by which we are to be saved. Only the real Jesus Christ saves. Now, people can look for salvation in material things or accomplishments or whatever, but salvation only comes from our God. In our lives, we really need to examine ourselves to see what it is we put in place of God, where it is we seek our happiness and our salvation. It might even be in a false understanding of God. As C.S. Lewis wrote, I need Christ himself, not something that resembles him. For this reason, as St. Peter writes in his second letter, we must make every effort to supplement our faith with virtue, and virtue with discernment. Virtue and discernment, these are the things that keep us from being led astray. Regarding the last, that is, do not be terrified, even as Christ anticipates awesome sights, which in the Greek is phobetra, which literally means something that causes terror, he also encourages us not to be afraid or alarmed. He says, when you hear of wars and insurrections, do not be terrified. It's interesting to note that the Greek word that Christ uses for terrified is poteo. It comes from the root meaning to fly, and literally means to be provoked by agitating fears, causing someone to be psychologically detached from reality. We can think of how St. Ignatius of Loyola describes the way the evil spirit works. He says, it is characteristic of the evil spirit to harass with anxiety, to afflict with sadness, to raise obstacles backed by fallacious reasonings that disturb the soul. Thus he seeks to prevent the soul from advancing. We can see how being terrified plays right into the devil's hands and makes his work easy. Notice, too, that Christ's admonition isn't about the things in themselves, but simply about the hearing of them, meaning the news of them. How many of us freak out simply about the news or things, or even possibly the possibility of bad things happening? The only way to avoid getting discouraged or worked up is by keeping our sight focused on God and the kingdom that is to come. As we approach the Advent season, we can ask ourselves if we're following any false messiahs. Have we really given ourselves over to Christ, or do we chase after something else? Do we allow ourselves to get worked up over little things, or do we really trust that Christ is Lord yesterday, today, and forever? Through the intercession of Mary, Mother of God, let's ask for the grace to truly trust that our Heavenly Father loves us and watches over us as we fight on this earth.